Hello, champions. Before we get started today, I just want to let you all know how proud I am. We only have 2 weeks left of school, and you guys have been knocking this distance learning situation out of the park. And I just want you to know that that is big kid material. You being able to stay on top of your work and remain accountable for your own success, wow. I am proud and I am impressed with such a great work ethic. So, while you are watching this video today, maintain your confidence, maintain that champion mindset, and always remember, it's okay to make a mistake as long as we're learning. Enjoy. Welcome back, champions. In this video, we will be discussing solving division stories using 3 easy steps. Let's begin. Step 1 tells us to read the division story and then determine what the division story wants us to find. Let's do that together. The division story says, Noel owns 10 buildings. He wants to use 5 different colors to paint the buildings. How many buildings will be in each color? The second part of step 1 says, determine what the division story wants us to find. That information was given to us in our division story. We read how many buildings will be in each color, and we were given 2 other variables to determine what this number will be. Let's talk about those variables. In division stories, our most consistent variable will be the total. In every single division story you will ever see, they will give you the total. Our total being in the division story tells us that it will be a division story. Our total in our division story for number 1 is 10 buildings. The next 2 variables we will talk about are not always given to us in our division stories, but they will always be represented in our division stories in some manner. So, the next one we'll talk about will be our groups. In our first example, the groups are represented by the 5 different colors. And that only leaves us with 1 more variable. And that variable will be the variable that we are looking for, and it is found in our question, in the how many buildings will be in each color. In each. How many buildings will be in each color? So we must be looking for in each. And in our division stories, we will have 3 variables represented every single time. We finished step 1. We have determined what the division story wants us to find, which is our in each. So we will move to number 2, which is create an equation that represents the division story. When we are creating our equation for our division story, there are only going to be 2 possible options. Our equation will always look like either this first equation or this second equation. The equation says the total divided by the groups will get us our in each, or the total divided by our in each will get us our groups. Now, which equation do you think we will be using to solve our example? Please take 30 seconds here and just think which one of these equations will work best for us. Pause the video here, take 30 seconds. If you chose the top equation, you are exactly correct. You recognize that our example gave us a total. It gave us the groups, and we are looking for the in each. So in order to find our in each, we have to divide the total by the groups to get our in each. Now, we need to write an equation that represents our example directly. When we are writing an equation that directly represents our division story, we have to plug in the information into our equation that our division story gives us. So, for our total, we will have 10 buildings. For our groups, we will have 5 colors. And this information will help us find our in each. We have created an equation that will help us solve to find our in each. So we're ready to move on to step 3. Solve equation using a model. Using a model for division stories is super easy because our equation will tell us what our model will look like. Our equation says 10 total divided by 5 groups will help us get our in each. So that means that we're going to be using 5 groups and we're going to put a total of 10 into those 5 groups. So to start, we can draw out those 5 groups so we'll have them to put the 10 total in. Once we have drawn our 5 groups, we are now ready to put our 10 total inside of the groups. So, just to be clear, that is not us putting 10 in each group. You see how I said that? 10 in each? If we were putting 10 in each group, this would be a multiplication question. And 10 would be our in each, and we would be looking for a total. But because we are dividing our total by these 5 groups here, we are then going to put our total into the 5 groups. And that looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have used up our total and we have put them into our 5 groups, and now we are ready to discover what our in each is. We want to know how much of our total we were able to put in each of our 5 groups. So in each of our 5 groups, we can determine that there were 2 of our total. We used up our complete total by 10. We have 10 totally here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Amongst our 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our in each is going to be 2. Because we have 2 parts in our total in every single group. But are we done? No. Because although we have solved our equation for our division story, we have to properly answer our division story question. How do we do that? Well, we're going to answer the equation using a complete sentence. Go ahead and take 30 seconds to come up with the complete sentence for how many buildings will be in each color. What will our complete sentence be? Pause the video here, and when we come back, we will discuss. The full sentence on how we answer how many buildings will be in each color is there will be 2 buildings of each color. So, even in our answer, we have the word each represented, and that is how we know we have answered the question correctly, because our question tells us the what and it tells us the how many. It says how many buildings will be in each color. This many buildings will be in each color. Great job, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to number 2.